Hey, this is Blake with AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning. Just gonna give you a quick tour through the inside of this 16-foot cube van here. This truck has been set up for HVAC installs, and on the top rack there you see storage room for small toolboxes for PVC fittings, black iron fittings, short black half-inch nipple tray and stuff like that. And there's a place there for 4, 5, 6-inch insulated flex, whatever you use. Another place here for, we usually have a place for spare condensate pump and tubing, stuff like that. There's all kinds of room there. And then here we have a workbench. You can, put tools or whatever. And there's a fold-out layout bench here. And so you can see that there's a hinge in the middle there, and it just flips over. Great for on-site fitting, layout, stuff like that. Under that there's a place for thermostat wire and a pump, and we have drop sheets, and then all kinds of space for boxes for PVC fittings, and space for there's a vacuum we've got there for if you have to clean up after return air, cutout for drywall, stuff like that, and then extra space there. Here we've got a cabinet, and actually in behind the cabinet you can see there's space there for a 32-foot ladder, and we've got it so that you can strap it to the side there, and we got a spot there for a ruler for when you're doing your layout. This is a pretty big cabinet here, and it holds a lot of stuff. Just go in here. One of the cool things that we built into this is storage place for longer black iron nipples, channel, and angle iron, and larger tools and stuff. You have a hard place to store, and a place for some larger pipe wrenches there too. And this cabinet here, there's enough for 4 bottles, basically 3 refrigerant bottles and an acetylene bottle. We built a spot here for a box of liquid tight. Then there's a couple of smaller drawers here that you can just put in miscellaneous tools and spare parts or whatever, I guess. And then there's a couple of cabinets here, a couple of doors here where you can fit. This truck was built to do service work and installation work, so you can store all kinds of stuff. There's a couple of cubby holes there, and then there's another cupboard here where we store an air compressor to blow burners and stuff like that, and space to store blower motors. And over here there's access to the front cabin here. Just take a quick look. You can see it's nice and clean in there. There's no tears on the seats or anything like that. And a place to store Coroplast and Thermopan. I don't know how well this is turning out in the video, but. And there's a place in the corner here to store usually 4-inch vent pipe for furnace or for water heaters, and you can, if you're doing a little bit of duct work now and again, there's storage there for 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-inch pipe. We don't usually stock too much of it, but usually, maybe 10 or 15 feet of each. And then, of course, it's strapped in there nicely, and then there's storage there. You can see for and drive. And then you got another shelf up here. Typically we store return air grills and plugs and tap in, stuff like that. Place for humidifier pads, pump oil. Then you've got a couple of shelves here for all kinds of screws, and we store smaller PVC fittings from the wholesaler there. And then we've got a 4-foot box and pan brake, so when you're making access doors, making transitions or anything like that, you got the ability to do that. So you might be wondering, with the box and pan brake so close to the side wall there, how would you bend larger pieces of metal? And that's a good question. You may need to bend, larger access doors for evaporator coils or something like that. And if you look at the bottom of the rack with the tools, we've got a couple of lock wheels on this end, and then we've got just regular caster wheels on this end. And so the idea there is that we can swing this out, and how we do that is there's a sort of a lock pin there, and then this is a swivel joint. And so what happens is you just pull that lock pin out of the back, and then you're able to actually swing that box and pan brake out into the middle of the truck while you're working on larger pieces of metal, which if you're doing residential work, you're not going to need that very often. It was pretty rare that we needed it, but however, that functionality is built in. And we've got lots of storage for different fitting boxes, Hiltis, drills, stuff like that. And back there's a Sawzall. And then here we've got area for storing fittings and stuff like that. And you can hang up extension cords and hoses for draining water heaters, stuff like that. And then we've got a big shelf here. We usually stock big air filters that we sell to our customers, so big and small air filters. And then here we've got a Pittsburgh machine, works totally fine. You can see that there. And then we've got storage here for smaller pieces of metal, and in behind the brake there we've got storage for larger pieces of metal. So at the back of the truck here we've got, of course, our broom and dustpan, but there's 3 and 4 foot ladders strapped along with a heavy-duty fridge dolly. It's a magnesium dolly, and you can see where it's actually strapped in there nice and tight so nothing bounces around. And you know, all in all, when you look at this truck, the way that it's set up for residential HVAC installations, new installs, renovations, furnace replacements, air conditioning installations, I don't know that you'll find another truck that's set up as well as this. You can do a lot of volume out of this, easily $1 million a year if you got the work. And so if you're interested, of course, give us a call. My name is Blake, 780-860-2708.